Good morning, everyone. We're just going to give everyone another minute to start joining in, and then we'll get started. Thank you. All right, everyone, I think we'll go ahead and get started here. So, good morning, and thank you for joining us for What the Fraud, our virtual fraud prevention seminar. My name is Juliana Nicholson, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager here at Manasquan Bank, and your moderator for this morning's seminar. We have a great presentation planned for this morning, but before we get started, we do want to remind everyone that we're recording this presentation so that we can share with those who are not able to join us. We will also be posting polling questions throughout the presentation, so your participation is greatly appreciated. Please also feel free to use the Q&A function throughout the presentation to ask any of your questions, and our experts will answer them all at the end. Following the presentation, we'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions that weren't answered today, please do not hesitate to reach out to our experts. Let's dive right in, shall we? So for those who aren't familiar with Manasquan Bank, we have been dedicated to helping our communities grow and thrive since 1874 with mortgages, construction loans, business loans, and everyday banking like checking and savings accounts. We currently operate 15 branch locations, and we can digitally open accounts through our website. As technology has evolved, so has traditional banking capabilities, and we take pride in providing our clients with the latest banking solutions. We're known for our friendly, knowledgeable staff who are ready to help you attain your goals, whether it be personal finance, business management, loans, and financial literacy. So in this morning's presentation, we'll be discussing a bunch of great topics, such as the companies that are most impersonated, the amount of losses that have been reported due to fraud, typical requests from scammers, AI and everything you need to know to stay safe, clicking on potentially dangerous links, the tools available to keep you aware of new activity, and most importantly, we'll be sharing tips on how to protect yourself against scammers. So let's get started. I'm joined this morning by our local experts, Sue Ellen Arechi, Senior Vice President, BSA and Deposit Compliance Officer, and Anna Ferreira, Vice President, Fraud Officer of Manasquan Bank. Sue Ellen and Anna, thank you for hopping on the call today. I'll now turn the presentation over to you.
Hello, I'm Sue Ellen Arechi, the BSA and Deposit Compliance Officer here at Manasquan Bank. Thank you for joining us today. We are here to educate you on some of the most common scams Anna and I are seeing on a day-to-day basis. And we're going to hopefully give you some key points to protect yourself from falling victim. So, what are the top 5 companies that scammers love to impersonate? As you can see, we just put up a poll. So cast your vote on who you think is the top 5 before we continue. Scammers impersonate some companies more than others. The top 5 reported in 2023. Best Buy, Geek Squad reported 52,000 with 15 million in losses. Amazon reported 34,000 with 19 million in losses. PayPal reported 10,000 with 16 million in losses. Microsoft reported 7,000 with 60 million in losses, and Publisher Clearinghouse reported 7,000 with 49 million in losses. So, how can we spot and avoid these scams? Stop, pause, and think. If you take nothing away from this fraud seminar today, take this away. Stop, pause, and think. Never feel pressure. There's no need to feel pressure. If someone's rushing you to do something, stop, pause, and think. If in doubt or something doesn't feel right, before you do anything, talk with someone you trust. Anyone who's rushing you into spending money, buying gift cards, or investing in cryptocurrency is almost certainly a scam. Never click on links or respond to unexpected messages, and never trust caller ID. Contact the company or agency using a phone number or website you know is legit. Remember, stop, pause, and think.
So good morning. I'm Anna Ferreira, the fraud officer at Manasquan Bank. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss how fraud continues to be a hot topic. So Ellen mentioned the various scams that are being reported, and I wanted to share what our clients have reported this year. Keep in mind that we are not always told about scams because some people may be ashamed to report or may think there is no need to report because the information was already given or the money was already sent. The biggest losses reported were Microsoft pop-up and Apple support scams. When those messages appear on the computer screen, it sends some people into a panic, and their reaction is to call the phone number or click to resolve the problem. I wanted to briefly go over the contractor scam since it was a significant loss to our client. He was approached by people that stated they were doing work in the area and saw that his porch needed some repair. He listened to these individuals and the following day gave them some cash to start the job. They started digging out his porch and telling him that he had other problems that needed to be fixed. They began digging around his foundation and kept requesting more money to complete the work. He became nervous because his foundation was dug out, and they kept on giving him he kept on giving them additional money. He would come into the branch and say he was remodeling and will get cash and bank checks to pay for the work. Since his withdrawals were already up to 234,000 and he was requesting more, the bank manager contacted me and I spoke with the client who seemed desperate since we were getting a lot of rain and he was worried about his house. The police were called and the individuals were arrested for deception and working without licenses. Sadly, this person will have to get an actual contractor to fix what was done to his home, and the chances of him recouping the money are slim. There are countless stories of victims that have lost money to fraudsters. So be careful when you're giving someone money so you don't become the next victim. As you can see, there are many ways that these scammers ask for funds to be sent. We have seen an increase in payments being requested through Bitcoin machines and wires. But these fraudsters get very creative and are also using payment platforms such as Zelle or Cash App. All these platforms make it nearly or totally impossible to recover funds. If someone feels the need to withdraw cash to safeguard it, then keep it at home. Don't send it to someone you just started speaking with.
Artificial intelligence. Online media and news has become unpredictable in light of artificial intelligence. Technology is starting to cause a growing concern for using artificial intelligence to create fake audios, videos, and images that look and sound incredibly real. This poses a huge risk as most people find it hard to distinguish between real content and deep fakes. As a result, voice cloning has also become an issue with criminals leveraging AI-generated voices to impersonate other people and commit phone scams. You can protect yourself by paying close attention to what the person is saying. If the recording is poor quality, has weird noises, or the voice seems robotic or unnatural, it's a sign to be cautious. If you suspect something, test the caller by asking out-of-the-box questions to stump this fraudster. Artificial intelligence still has numerous benefits, such as organizing health data, powering self-driving cars, advanced data analysis, and improved business efficiency.
Okay, now we will be speaking a little on typo squatting. I'm not sure if anyone has heard of this terminology, but it's a way in which fraudsters are trying to benefit from common mistakes that people make when they are doing their searches. Be careful when conducting searches to make sure that you are on the correct site. We have had several clients when trying to go on vacation, going to fraudulent hotel or airline sites and putting in their debit card information. When they realize that they are not dealing directly with the hotel or airline and attempt to get their money back, they are denied because the transaction was authorized when they accepted the terms of the website and provided their debit card information. Once you authorize a purchase on your debit card, it is extremely difficult to get that money back. So I encourage everyone to always verify that there is a lock before the web address. This gives you assurance that the website is secure. And before giving any personal or account information, look at the web address to make sure that there are no misspellings. So phishing is still a very popular way of trying to get someone's personal and banking information. There is information available on the dark web and in public records that may give fraudsters information that they can use to target people. We had a client that received a text message from what they believed to be Amazon, stating that a package that was being shipped could not be sent because the payment information that was on file was incorrect. When they clicked on the link, they were asked for all their personal information, including their debit card number. Once information is given, the fraudster may not always act on it right away, but may use it later when you're not expecting it. If you suspect that you may have given out your information to fraudsters, call the bank right away so that we can cancel your debit card and put a cautionary alert on your accounts. Be careful when looking at these texts or emails. Go directly to the website and avoid sending any money. So there are several ways that you can protect yourself from these phishing attacks. Remember that if someone sends you a payment and asks for money in return, it's most likely a scam. Be suspicious of anyone applying pressure to make you do something. And if you weren't expecting it, please be suspicious of it because it may just be a way for a fraudster to make you the next victim.
So email spoofing. This is a technique used in spam or phishing attacks to trick users into thinking a message came from a person or an entity that they know and trust. As you see here on this slide, the F in Xfinity was changed to a T. Next slide. Anna, I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit. Anna recently almost fell for this Xfinity email spoofing scam.
I
What
really
happened?
did.
I know.
I did. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it, right? So I have my credit card stored in Xfinity, and it automatically pays every month. So I get a text message. It looks like Xfinity, and it says the credit card information they have on file has expired. Please click this link to update that information. I'm like, oh, it's been a while, so that's probably true. And I was just about to click the link, and I said, no, let me go to Xfinity instead. So I went to Xfinity and my card information was corrected and there was no problem. But I went back to the email and it was so authentic. It looked exactly like that. But again, was one letter was a little bit different. And when I looked closer, I noticed it. So be careful.
Stop, pause, and think, right?
Right.
I keep saying it. So email spoofing protection, create a practice to always verify the sender's email address, look for any misspellings, poor grammar, and sense of urgency. All red flags. Be cautious of unexpected emails, especially those requesting sensitive data or taking immediate action. Never give out your account credentials. Avoid clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown or suspicious sources. When in doubt, contact the organization or individual directly using a known and trusted communication channel.
Check fraud is still a very popular way for fraudsters to steal money. If you're paying a bill or sending money to someone with a check, be mindful that individuals may be watching for mail in your mailbox, or they may also target the blue mailboxes that still have the large openings. The post office is aware of the increase in mail theft and have changed many mailboxes in the area to the small, thin slots. So please use those when mailing out payments. When checks are stolen, the criminals wash the payee name and sometimes alter the amount on the check and deposit it at a bank and withdraw the cash as soon as it's available. So if the altered check is not returned on the same day it is presented for payment, there may be no recourse in getting the funds back when there are no funds left at the bank where the check was deposited. Many times fraudsters deposit the check through an ATM or a mobile app to attempt to disguise the discoloration from the changes on the check, and often these checks are used in other scams that are being committed. So pay close attention to the checks that are clearing from your account to make sure that there's nothing that's changed on them. Use online banking to review your account activity regularly and put tools in place such as alerts to notify you of activity happening in your account.
Wire fraud is very real. The bad actors, fraudsters, scammers, whatever you want to call them, they're extremely good at making you think they are protecting your funds. Wire fraud is not one size fits all. Anyone could fall victim. Anna, should I share the wire fraud story, the 98,000? Yes? Okay. I
Yes,
think I will.
please share that story.
This just recently happened. We had a client go into one of our branches. She had to wire $98,000 to Switzerland, and she stated the purpose was a business investment with her daughter. The client had all the wire instructions, so the branch processed the wire. Our automated system alerted Anna and I that this was possibly a fraudulent wire, so we contacted the client and explained the reasons we believe that it was possibly fraudulent. She insisted that this wire was a business investment with their daughter and the wire needed to be sent today. I'm sure you all just spotted some red flags there because of the sense of urgency. This wire was fraudulent, and she just insisted that she wanted to send this wire. The next day, she came back in asking for it to be recalled. And when we can attempt to recall the wire, but 99% of the time, we're not going to get it back. What happened with this client was she received a pop-up from Apple support on her iPad with a telephone number to call for help. She called the phone number and was told that her internet was compromised and someone from Manasquan Bank had leaked their account information. And the client was asked for their account information, which they gave the scammer, not Apple support. The client was further instructed in order to safeguard her funds, she needed to wire this $98,000 to Switzerland to an escrow account, and to tell the bank the purpose of the wire was a business investment with the daughter since the bank was involved. I wanted to share this so that you would be able to spot all of these red flags and not become our next victim.
And we actually thought that we would be able to get this money back for this particular client because it was an international wire, right? So typically domestic wires get to their point of destination the same day, but international wires take about 2 to 3 business days to get to that destination. But unfortunately, when we reached out to that foreign bank, they did not honor our request. It's very hard to get those monies back, even if they're overseas.
So they never call the number on your Apple support pop-up or Microsoft pop-up or any of the companies we talked about. Call the number that you know, because most likely it's going to be a scam. Apple support or any of the companies are very unlikely going to ask you account information or balances. And even if they do, never give it out. Requesting the wire, these fraudsters request wires because they're harder to trace, harder for us to get back. They win, we lose. And if you're told your financial institution is involved, and even if you believe this, because these fraudsters are convincing, call someone other than who you normally speak to at your financial institution. Talk to someone you trust. Go online, review your account activity. And if you're ever told to lie about the purpose of a wire, it's a huge red flag. Just don't lie. And if your financial institution recommends to not send the wire, I recommend stop, pause, and think. Wait a day or two. See what's going on. Take your time.
And there's a lot of times that people believe that we're prying and asking questions, but the only reason we ask those questions is because we've identified so much fraud. So we're trying to protect you from being the next victim, and we're asking the questions. We're not asking to pry into your life or to, see what you're doing or what you're not doing. We just want to make sure that your funds get to the destination safely and get to the right destination. So debit card fraud is always a concern. Debit cards are a direct channel to your account, so please use caution when using your debit card. If you're making a purchase online, only use your debit card if it's a website that is known to you. If you're not used to that website, just consider using a credit card instead. It is important to safeguard your card information because unlike a credit card, the transaction will be posted to your account as soon as you make that purchase. We had a client that was on Facebook and they saw an advertisement to purchase bracelets. She entered her card information but never received the items. When she tried to contact the business, she discovered that it didn't exist. Since the transaction was authorized, a claim could not be submitted to dispute the transaction, and she lost those funds. So there are tools that are available to safeguard your card information. If you have the bank's mobile app, there is this card section that you can access to show card transactions and to set card alerts. You can even turn off and on your card as you need. And please remember, don't give your card or PIN number to anyone because again, this is a direct access to your account. We had a gentleman who had a caregiver, and she was taking care of him, and he trusted her with his debit card, gave the PIN number and all, because she was purchasing, his needs. She was going to the pharmacy, going to the food store, and he trusted her. And he didn't really verify the account activity until his statement would come in. So he noticed that on his latest statement, there was purchases that she was making to the nail salon. She was going out to get pizza, small little transactions, but they all added up. And he tried to dispute them because he said that technically she wasn't allowed to use his card, but she was, because he gave her that information. So just be very careful who you trust with your card.
So how to protect yourself against these scammers? Call your bank directly to confirm activity. Talk to someone you trust, a family member, your financial institution. Scammers want to isolate the victim from someone that they know and trust, because that person is going to make them stop, pause, and think, and make them realize that this possibly is a scam. Never lie, like I said, and be wary of people who tell you to move money in order to keep it safe. Your money is very safe in the financial institution. Pop-ups on your devices from any of the top 5 companies we spoke of earlier, or anywhere else, provides you a number to call. Never call that number. Call the number that you know is legit, by that you got off of a website or something. If you're told to withdraw cash and put it into a Bitcoin ATM, this is 100% a scam. The scammer is going to tell you an incredible story, how you need to withdraw large sums of cash, direct you to a Bitcoin ATM, and you're even going to get a receipt. I think we put a poll up. Is it, Juliana, did we get some results yet? Does anyone know what a Bitcoin ATM is? Let me take a look. Juliana, you told me I had to go to the chat to find this.
Yep, so right now, so far, 78% of people said yes, they do, and 20% of people said no, they do.
Okay. For those that don't know what a Bitcoin ATM, they are everywhere. They are located in all of local convenience stores, gas stations, typically right next door to the ATM machine, actually a real ATM cash machine. The Bitcoin ATM, you can only put cash in, you don't get cash out. So just so everyone knows what a Bitcoin ATM is, if someone is asking you to withdraw money for whatever reason the scam was, asking you to withdraw this money and go put it in a Bitcoin, if you feel more comfortable and want to go withdraw the money, go right ahead. But Anna, where should they take that money? Not to the Bitcoin ATM, but maybe Anna has a great suggestion.
I say if you actually need to take money because you're afraid, keep it at home, keep it under your mattress, keep it safely somewhere in the house. Don't send it in a box to somebody that you don't know. Keep it with you. It's your money, you protect it. You're the best protector of your own funds. Okay, so now anyone can be a victim, right? So you may think that this will never happen to you, but sometimes when you least expect it, it can happen. So pause before giving anyone you don't know information about yourself or access to any of your devices. We've had clients that are teachers, engineers, insurance agents, and even bankers become victims. Check your accounts regularly using online banking. Get your credit report. You're able to get one free credit report by going to annualcreditreport.com. Utilize that service and report fraud through the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, or the IC3, which is FBI related. Even if it's small or big, report it, because the more information that they have, the better it is that they can try to target these criminals, because these criminals are very, very active and they keep on changing their game. So the more information they have, maybe that it's pieces of puzzles they can put together. Thank you for joining us for this presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Anna, and thank you, Sue Ellen, for sharing these great tips with us. We'll now jump into some of the questions that we received from the audience. So if you haven't already, please utilize the Q&A function to ask any of your questions, and we'll start answering those now. So our first question for you guys was, at what point is a deposit considered cleared? How long do we need to wait to have clear access to the funds? They shared that they had a fraud situation where the check was found out to be fraud and funds that they used were now lost. FYI, this did not happen with Manasquan Bank, they said, and it was with another bank.
So for a check, we put on hold for 2 business days, but 2 business days is not a sufficient time to clear a check. It takes anywhere from 3 to 4 business days before we could find out if that check is actually fraudulent. So don't send the money right away. Hold off. Hold off for 5 days, maybe even. Because by that time, we will definitely know, but definitely 3 to 4.
Great. And our next question was, is it true that mobile banking apps on a mobile phone can be easily accessed if the mobile phone is stolen?
No, that's not true. So if the mobile app has a security feature on it, you would have to put in your, username and password. Or if you have the Face ID, it would have to recognize your face. So it is a very secure, avenue to access your account.
Correct.
Great. And someone also asked, will we make these slides available? So yes, we are going to share all of these slides with everybody afterwards. The presentation was recorded, so everyone will get a copy of this at the end.
And Julianne, if we could provide both Sue Ellen and my contact information, email address and phone number, anybody on this call, even if you want to run something by us, something has happened to you and, you just want to talk about it, feel free. We are here to help you. We can put you in contact with the right people or just listen to what you have to say and kind of try to give you some information. So feel free to contact us.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll share all of that information. It's also available on our website at manasquan.bank, but I'll be sure to send it out to everybody after today's call. Please feel free to reach out to Sue Ellen and Anna. They're so helpful with all of this stuff. So we hope you enjoyed today's presentation and you found it helpful. And if you have any more questions, please again, reach out to us. We'll also be sending a post-event survey to capture your feedback. So please complete that at your earliest convenience. And besides that, thank you all for joining us today. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you.